Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel, and in this one we have Vi Jungle because why not? And I'm a dad now, so I'm allowed to crack at the dad jokes. Be ready for a lot more. No, but we've seen Vi on the international stage. We have someone with Vi in their name against us, and I made a video a few months ago showing why she's strong against the meta and how you can use her, but the thing is, her strength is only doubled in the high elo space, which is ironic because she's not actually that strong in terms of like a plus average, excuse me. You know, I'm not telling people in gold to play Vi to get diamond. You could, I'm just not recommending that. I think there's a lot of better picks, and in my best jungler videos, you know, I'm not necessarily saying, look, this is the champion that's gonna 1v9 games. You can, but there are some downsides. However, Centauran with Challenger pathing and Challenger LCS MVP knowledge is gonna showcase how and why she is so good. Remember, when you have enchanters and poke comps and things that are just generally irritating, what's the counter to that? What's the counter? It is all-in engage. And what is the best form of engage? You guessed it. Point and click abilities followed by obscene tankiness and chain CC spells. Not to mention max physical damage and a built-in shield in our passive. Runes on your screen now. Conqueror, standard. Booties and Cosmic, standard. I think we should nerf those runes just so I don't have to look at another one or render another page. That being said, all the other Hail of Blades and secondary page alternatives are available for Vi on my Zada GG Live companion, Vi Guide, linked below. Nice and juicy, fresh with all the jungle knowledge you need to actually use her to get to diamond should you want, or even Mercer Plus. Now, in high elo, the best way to kind of do things is to make sure we're having some sort of lane impact with a flexible reverse option and quadrant clearing control. What does that mean? It means red Raptors Grump into a gank, or reverse field into the top side, or go for your classical invades should you be a kindred and such things. Now, Azir is the same kind of problem. You got Azir, you got a Draven who's going to get fed here, there's a Janna. How do we deal with these comps when we just cannot get on top of them? Well, you pick Vi because you've got Flash Q, you've got Q Flash, you've got your ultimate. Woo, you fly. That was nice, very nice. Now, in this game, we are against what I'm going to call a stereotypical jungler that most of you will face in your games, right? You will face a jungler who's passive, who doesn't track well, who doesn't gank well, who misses opportunities to take objectives, who doesn't hit towers, and you should be destroying them. In Platinum, it's relative, right? This is obviously Challenger relative, but in Platinum and Diamond, in Master, in Gold, in Silver, and Iron 85, it's all relative, right? The junglers that you're against will be, compared to you, significantly worse. So you must be able to be the difference maker. Now, Draven's overstaying here, and of course that must be a Q Flash into a death, because if, this is why we do this clear. To get on the map. Now, the dude overstayed thinking, jungler's gonna 5-chem, because junglers are boring, they AFK farm, right? No, sir, not anymore. This is the best clear in the game. I'm gonna go ahead and flex and kill you. Now, our ADC gets a little bit of zone time here. Jan is like, well, I guess nothing to do. The Azir has prior over the Silas, as expected. We're gonna snack away that Scuttle Crab, and then we can repeat gank the bottom lane. Thresh is gone in here. We have the Glacial Augment popping off, and she has nothing to do but to die as well. Nice max range Q into the knockback, into the E, and the Nocturne in the meantime, be chilling, right? He's gone on a full clear. He's got a control ward start, which of course I am very much a fan of, and now he's going to go ahead and steal our Krugs. I think if you're a Centauran, if you're the Vi in this situation, you see, look, enemy jungle hasn't shown, it's 352. They're either resetting to do another sequence, or most likely have realized, look, Vi did a red Raptors Grump, especially 12 CS bottom lane, no blue. I know she's going to fall back to that bottom scuttle. I know she's going to fall back to that blue buff. Therefore, I will yeet and steal and consume her Krugs, which is, of course, what he does. And Centauran says, it's so obvious. And look at the ping on the minimap. He knows. He knows. Everybody knows. And because we did Raptor second, we know that it will be spawning at that 417, 18, 19 mark, depending on what champion you are. If you're Vi, a little bit slower. And obviously, here we go. Yeah, 424, Jesus. It's so much slower than your Talons or your Canes or something. Even your Mundos are faster than that. But hey, it is what it is. Defenders. Because if you base here, you're giving them the opportunity to kind of track this, snack this, and get out. The ward is seen, but at this stage, it's pretty much obvious that the Nocturne would have taken those and reset. He didn't dive top lane. He's now going to reset and do his Krugs Raptors. I think at this stage, the ping, we're getting the vision on it just in case, but if it's gone, it's gone, because we didn't base yet, it's very easy to kind of float on up here, snack this away, and then reset, because we're not losing anything, right? If we just based, now we're losing a lot of time, because we have to stay out and cross all the way down. Whereas normally you could stay out here and kind of look for his tier 2 wolves and tier 2 grump counter jungling while he resets and goes bottom side, and that way you can kind of go and fist the Yasuo. So it's all about the mind games and the back timings. So if your back timings affect your subsequent pathing decisions, it's not necessarily always that cut and dry. And for example, here, I kind of like to slap control wards here against aggressive junglers. Against a Nocturne, I don't think he's gonna reset Krug's Raptors and then come and counter jungle my blue side, specifically knowing that I did Raptors Gromp, right? And then you go bottom lane, then you fall back to Crab, then you go bottom lane again. So you know that the Gromp and the Wolves have a really distorted respawn timer. So for the Nocturne, it's not worth that counter jungling expedition, considering the Vi will most likely reset and come down. So he just carries on his full sequence. Sans gets some prio, gets 6, says, hey, Yasubi, how are you, Dit? Can I go and give you some mega fistings? And Vi says, you know what? This is what I've been doing on Mundo. A lot of my games, I'm on a nice streak after a depressing streak with Mundo. You know, let me go and snack a dragon. But this is where the big difference comes in, right? There's an RNG scuttle. The enemy Nocturne has gone up here and said, look, I can't afford to do this with the Silas there. So I'm just going to sequence down and try and get this opposite or this RNG scuttle. And because mid is there and has prio, we get pushed off of it. In your elos, this isn't going to happen. Okay, what's going to happen directly is the Nocturne's going to try and fight this and die like an idiot, or he's going to counter jungle like an idiot, and you will get a free dragon. And this will work for like probably 100 LP and below, to be honest with you. It really usually is a nice free dragon, especially with an Ocean Drake. We're not quite close to 6, but at least we got the RNG scuttle. The Lantern helps us. Doesn't really matter. We're going to hit that Q to get the Yasuo ult onto the Janna. Overkill, but you know what? When you have it, you might as well use it. We could look to go and yeet this red if we felt like we were strong enough, but Nocturne is 6 after that dragon, and we're not because he is up 11 CS, so you don't really want to... Like, if you're 6 and he's not, yeah. I'll with Zyra, I'll just walk in here and alter Kha'Zix if he's 5 and I'm 6. I have no qualms about doing that. But in this case, it's reversed. So fall back to your Wolves. Now it's a bit tricky because you kind of want to shadow the Nocturne who's going to try and ult this 100%, but at the same time, you are not 6. So we need to go back to the top side. It's a very dynamic gameplay. I did the Cassandre video on the main channel, so you can go and check that out. So I guess that was a bit champion analytical. So now I'm itching for some pathing stuff. And then I'm coaching afterwards. So nice analytical day. We have here we're sequencing up now. We're level 6. Lane's pushed in a little bit. Now, the Nocturne at this stage is itching to use his ultimate. Here we go. He does, of course, use it on the bottom lane. He's just waiting for that dive. You can kind of sense it, which is why for the Vi, it's like, yeah, you kind of want to hang around for this. Oh my goodness gracious, that's not how you do it. They should probably consult some of the pro LCS teams, which EG got a couple executes with the Nami. Like, just the support, tank it, execute. Let your team get the kill. Like, you don't die to any champion. You just get executed, which is fine. And your team gets to live, which is how it should be done. And now the Silas goes to the bottom lane here. And this is the beauty of sequencing like this, right? We now cut our losses and say, look, Nocturne's going to go and do that bottom lane stuff. We'll sequence up here. The Vi's just going to be like, thanks, bro, because I'll take your blue, I'll take your Grump. I know you cut the map to use your ult because you felt you had to do so. I'll take your whole blue side quadrant. Another Nocturne, in theory, should come to this side, knowing that he's going to have the RNG Scuttle, his whole blue side, the Crab, the Beetle, everything is up, right? The problem is, Camille has prio. Support has roam timer because Janna died and he has that control. And, you know you're going to die if you do that. So he's kind of forced to the bottom side quadrant here, and we have multiple control wards placed. Do we just want to all in the Yasubi here? Do we want to show him where the key is and why that key's up his own asshole? Do we? Look, using the Fog of War trick. There we go. Nice Fog of War trick. Come on, do it. There's no ult on the Nocturne. So, yeah, there we go. Come on. Okay, we miss it, but we get the blue smite. We can then ult. We'll become unstoppable. We're tanking. It doesn't really matter. We can respace. Okay, there you go. So, the Vi and Camille, which is a Vi analog, or Camille and the Camille analog, which is the Vi, are able to chain lock down and destroy Poop Swag 69. And we can fall into the Herald. Kill conversion ratio. Always take those kills into those objectives. Mobility is destroyed by point and click abilities. Now, because the Nocturne is chain kind of killed into this, you know, ADCs could take this, and I have no issue with that in that instance, but, you know, like, he's got nothing else to do, right? He's going to always look to create this pseudo-vertical situation. Now, the Silas just decides, hey, look, I have Azir's ult, can I help you? And then Nocturne says, yo, let me ult you. And then like, wait, I'm on the wrong side of the wall. Oh no, and then he dies too. So good job by the Silas to use and play off of Santorin's pathing here. You won't always have a mid laner able to do that, but I guarantee you, when you pigeonhole junglers like Santorin's done to this Nocturne, Santorin knew what the Nocturne was doing first rotation. He knew he was going to look to use that ultimate right after he got 6 on the Dragon, which enabled counter jungling on the top quadrant, enabled the gank on the top side. Didn't need Thresh for it at all. Helps, but you don't need him. And then you can fall back to the Herald, which is a more important objective, and then to your own red side, and then Nocturne's going to be desperate. Sure, you might get this. Sure, you might dive your bot lane, but in a meta where you have Enchanters and Thresh, it's not always guaranteed or free, is it? So from this excellent haul, it's not the most dynamic kill game, but with 1-0-3, we have the Divine Sundra finish. Thank you for actually building a good item and not Kempunk Chainsword. Remember, if you want to rush an item and then go full tank, just buy the damn Black Cleaver, guys. All right, you've got the armor penetration, the armor shred, armor shred on your W. You've got that max physical damage. Let's go and amplify that shred and stickiness and HP and AD with a Black Cleaver. You know, you actually can use those passives instead of the Kempunk Chainsword, which is the passive you're just wasting. Like, doesn't make any sense to me. I know the affordability is a thing, but come on. Luxurious items will last you longer, even if they cost more upfront. We've covered this form of economics for a very long time now. Basically, when you do have an ult up again, which means you're going to want to use that ult up again. That makes sense, sure. And use a bottle mate, because now, of course, the Nocturne's going to be forced to go to the top side quadrant, knowing this camps are going to be respawning, and this will be distorted. So we can kind of use a tempo swap, which we've done now on the farming jungler, to use the Herald, amplify our Aphelios, make sure Draven is already turbo raging at his team, make sure that the Nocturne is trailing every play and can't do anything about it, and then we can translate that into 5 plates, a Dragon, and of course, by extension, more counter jungling. When you have a good gank, get some shit, push an objective, and then take their shit, and then spit on the floor as you leave, and then maybe put a little bit of an emote, you know, to tilt them some more. Jungling is a mental game. It's a mental game, and you want to win at the mental game, 100%. If you lose at the mental game, and also, likewise, if you're the Nocturne here, to swap it around a bit, especially me as someone who plays Mundo a decent amount, sometimes not sometimes, a lot of times, a ganking jungler will gank me, but I had an Elise with like an 80% win rate against me the other day, and she was down 50 CS. I had 100 CS and she had 50, and I had 100. Plus I had Herald and a Dragon, so you're going to have these opportunities to force these ganking junglers to trail you as well. The principles that Santorin has used here to get this lead with Vi is the same kind of stuff that you can use as a farming jungler or a ganking jungler. It doesn't really matter, because Vi was ganking early, right? But then said, okay, look, I know what the Nocturne's going to do, going to waste time and bad investments. Let me use that time to +4, +4, +4, and every +4 you get is -4 for him. And then, of course, if he's ganking one side, I gank the other side, equal and opposite. I do kill conversion ratio to objectives, and now he's forced to the top side. I'll go bottom side, and then I'll take all his stuff and this Dragon. It's not that difficult. Although everything I've said in this video is a real total view of the jungle. So, I mean, I guess it is difficult. But once you understand why and how we do things, and you look for that ebb and flow in the space, you know, it's not that difficult. Eventually, it won't be that difficult. I know it's difficult, guys, but eventually, once you do it enough and you understand it enough, it becomes a bit of second nature, and you just see everything in slow motion. And that's what we're trying to do. That's what this channel's about. That's what my main channel's about. It's about looking at how to do these things and why. And then when you're against inferior junglers, how to make them demoralized and make them go Q top lane next game, you know? Like, he's level 8 now. We see this fight. Make sure you rotate to these fights, right? Don't feel like your team is automatically going to win that fight. You see, point and click ultimate locks down the Azir. We have chain CC with our Q. The Q's on a very low cooldown once you get a decent amount of haste and you max its spell. Free flash here as well. I mean, look, it's already up again in like, what are we at now? Let's see exactly the amount, like just over 4 seconds or 4 seconds. You can really move around the map very quickly with that Q, and it's a free flash every single time because you have so much damn damage. We're maxing that W second here. Obviously, you can go E second as well. You can go Hail of Blades. All of these are largely dependent on comp, but also poor wolves, a little bit on feel. Okay, doing the whippo. You know, like, this is the level of invasiveness I want you to have. Like, why are you even here? Okay, we gotta be a little bit cautious here. We do have flash though. Camille is here. We're just gonna keep flash, kill her. The Draven does do a lot of damage. He's still 6 and 5. Oh, he's 6, 5, and 1. We'll focus on the 6 and the 1, but he does have 5 deaths. You're welcome. And from the Divine Sunderer here, I think a Black Cleaver is absolutely fine in this particular instance. It helps ourselves with Janna, Zia, you know, Yasuo, and Draven combo where we want to stick to targets and obviously shred them. But we do have a Camille. We do have an Aphelios. We are ourselves physical damage. Let's help that shred, right? Let's keep that going. And look at this. Using the Q ability to get back in the jungle, not falling back to this because our team took it, but hey, it is what it is. Hello, Yasuo. My ult is up. Let me just Q to gap close. I do have my blue smite as well, but I don't think I need to use it. Let's have a look here to see. We're just going to Q for that. Yeah, we can save our ult. Get E'd, bitch. So that's nice. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. And Ionian Boots of jungling is always good on most junglers, but if you're going more of a tanky route, yeah, Plated Steel Caps, Merc Shreds, all of these are good, okay? So we can use those as well. Are we going to do the reverse Booper now? Are we going to actually do this? This would be quite funny. I don't believe in pushing one's luck too far. I would take this away just to spite them. Ooh, stay. Good, 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 good. See the recognition difference? Obviously, I spend like 90% of my time watching Challenger junglers and, you know, and studying this game, and this is my stuff. But for you guys in game, like, keep your eyes open when you're basing. Don't pull up the store and look at all your Tiffany stuff, you know? Look and see what we could do if our base is maybe not 100% necessary. Because what are we at now? We're going for that Q on the Draven. We're at 2.2k, but like, you can 1v1 anyone when you're fed, and Divine Sunderer just allows you to do that. Like, okay, look, we'll ult now. Nocturne is here, ulting our Aphelios. We're a little low for this fight, so you have to do the calculations. Can I impact this? Camille stays, so we stay. That's obviously it. And you can see, oh, look, our team's turning it. So always assume your team will need your help, right? And if they don't need your help, cool. But assume they need your help in most cases. Now, a good example is the Master Yi video on the main channel with scenarios. 1400 P, ranked 10 at EU West. Guy says, you know, he looks for the 60% win rate play at minimum. And if it looks like he can win this with a 60% win rate, obviously that assessment is down to expertise, champion knowledge. He'll go for it, you know. And obviously that does mean 4 out of 10 games you might make a bad play. So if you can make that 80% and be selfish, sure, but that's for your hyper carries. You know, your 14 million gold champions like a Yi. A Vi, we can be a bit more low econ. You know, we don't need, what are we at now, 17 minutes, 9,000 gold? Like, Scenarios has that at 14 minutes, like every game, you know, because he can rinse tower plates. And he only takes those fights. And if they lose the fights, he'll just push waves. Because he's Yi, they have to deal with him. Vi, you don't have that option necessarily. Oopsie. You can, but ideally you want to be in those fights, yeah. So look for those rotations, and always try to make yourself available to your team for some fisting. Group fisting. In a forest. Exactly right. Now, we have completed the Black Cleaver, which is obviously super juicy. We already have 1,666 extra damage on the Divine Sunderer. By far the best standard mythic for this kind of shit that we like to do. Nice split focus there. We know the Draven was dealt with, so we can the Janna was dealt with, so we can R the Draven. Always critical with Vi's. You might want to Q someone and then R someone else. You might want to Q someone, you know, do some auto attack, do some Eing on someone, and then just ult someone else. By the time you've done that, your Q's up again, and you can chain CC. So always look for that, you know, look left and look right at the same time kind of stuff. You look funny, but you look like the Udyr skin, but like you win games from this, yeah? You win games. I promise. Fall back to the dragon here. Now, obviously, there's a little bit of trust involved in letting your team close games, and this will happen. I'm glad I said this will happen. They will go too deep. They will die. But sometimes you will have teams that just damn well play the game and win properly. Doesn't always happen in your games, but it happens more often than you think, you see? Now, if you're in Silver and you go into the dragon, your whole team dies, and then they can flex the Baron, what would you suggest yourself to maybe do differently than, say, a more high elo ranked jungler? Well, you should stay with your team to impact that fight because you have the lead, take the inhib, kill the ball, and then fall back to the dragon. But Centauran obviously isn't in a different elo, so he decided to do the dragon, but then again sees, look, my team went hyper deep, I better rotate to help. He didn't piss off to this and then go back to base. He immediately rotated back here to help. So again, the principle is true. I see my team, they're making a play, maybe, oh wow, they're actually turning it. I didn't think they should make that play, but you know what? let me help because I'm fed. Put the responsibility on yourself. Hi, Nocturne. I was like, is he gonna? But we out of mana, so let us take this blue first, please, sir. There we go. And hopefully you're seeing like how we had a gold deficit early, and you can look at the gold graph. It's in the match history in the description below. But you can see the match history. You can see we had a gold deficit early. We swung it around. We swung it around pretty damn quickly. And as soon as we had it, how suffocating it is to play against someone who knows that they have that 1v1 lead over you, and they can just run into your jungle and take everything. We can easily do a Baron now, to be honest with you. As Vi with Aphelios with the right guns, easily that's a 20-minute, sub 21-minute Baron. So look for those plays. If you're a tank and have a really fed member of your team that you've played around, ADC mid laner, likewise, free damn Baron. But now we're falling back to our camps a little bit because obviously we have your pickaxe, cloth armor, we're 2,000. We don't quite have Death's Dance. There's no more slots available in our inventory anyway. You could upgrade this to a chain vest, but is that going to make a real world difference in this game? Unlikely, but it is something we should think about. At this point, I agree. I think we should just base and then go straight to the Baron, or just push this and go straight to the Baron. We don't really need to base. The enemy team's kind of stuck in a bit of a hole, but this pressure here means that we can't, we shouldn't allow them to get anything. Like, we keep taking this stuff and pushing this up, because what are they going to do? They have to wait for you to tilt, right? And now, of course, we have enough cash money, so we wanted to wait a little bit for that. So, yeah, if you're super close, like 200-300, push away, finish your camps, ping it, get it, straight to the Baron. If you're, if he was at 1,000, you can base for the chain vest and just kind of come back here, but you wouldn't necessarily have to. But a really nice methodical game. Like, we have totally controlled this game. Let's snack this Baron here. Super good. Super good example of early game jungle pathing dynamics. And hopefully, this was definitely more coachy, but hopefully you understood what we're looking for and how to read and adapt to particular situations. It's really important, no matter that you are doing this, because if you do it, it doesn't really matter if your teammates are useless or not. Okay, now we can kind of peel. You can peel too, right? The darkness arrives. I hate Nocturne. Like, you can destroy Nocturne, and he just presses one button, and he has all this control. That is what it is. Champion's still not that good overall, but for level. See, the thing is, the extension of all of this play early, right, and running into the jungle, is that now we have a 4-level lead, because Nocturne hasn't been able to eat for a very, very long time. Dude's been lost in space for about a month, and ran out of satchel 3 weeks ago. It's not a good time for him. Use your Baron, hit the towers, hit the towers, hit the towers, have a little bit of fun if you want, but do not throw, please. I have seen too many low elo players try and coin flip a fountain dive here. Just get your game, get your W, get your LPs, and go to the next one. There we go. See? They can't touch you guys. You're unkillable. Like Cleaver, only 185 health carved, but we didn't really get to do a lot, but that HP is so crucial in terms of not dying. I do like that item a lot on Vice, specifically with Divine Sunder and Death Dance as well. So, Movement Mortius, GA, that'll close it out. If you're going a bit more tanky, you can obviously go Stoneplate. I think Stoneplate's a goated item, especially against things like Leandries and other percentage HP damage spells and champions. Like, you're against a Vayne. I see people go against a Vayne and then stack 6,000 HP with no resistances. Like, I know true damage and percentage HP kind of come there, but you kind of got to fuse those things sometimes. Adapt. Like, do I need more HP? Should I have more resistances? What counters that kind of stuff? Shields, because shields, right? Movement Mortius, Gargoyles, Stoneplate, they all do work in that regard. So, hopefully you enjoyed it and learned something. I did. I enjoyed this quite a bit. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like, share, and comment if you did. And Zara GG Live Companion Vi Guide is below. Main channel Cassante video is up. More coming soon. Definitely will be doing jungle stuff. And as always, I will see you all tomorrow in the next video.